has the edge. Long-term matchup, Norway up 5-4.
And getting things underway, Sweden on the right side of the screen, in yellow. Norway in red, and a little recover here for Norway and a poke kill for Anders Mol.
How often do you see Anders Mol come out in a big-time matchup and shoot 2 consecutive balls, his first 2 balls of the match? Rare little touch. Usually you see Anders, first time he gets the ball, he just eats.
Float serve here into the bad side, and the lefty poke option from Jonathan Hellvig.
And the opposite hand poke control is something that we're seeing a lot of. We see it a lot with Sharif Yunus, winner of our previous semifinal, spoiler alert. And Jonathan Hellvig, he is likely the best in the world at going with that left-hander opposite hand poke.
And somehow, magic there from Sørum, finding a way, a little undercut on that swing underneath the block of Hellvig.
And Sørum has gotten so many serves these past 6 years that he's just had to find different ways to score. In 2018, 2019, there's a lot of power. Now we see a lot of slime from Sørum.
Heavy jump serve, just missing long.
I like that serve from Anders. It wasn't a true topspin toss to topspin serve. A little hybrid. Tossed it with 0 spin, made it look like a float, and then put the topspin on it.
Sørum going behind the set inside. I'm on there. Hellvig on the run. A little bit of trouble for Sweden. Creates an opportunity for Norway. Little dig for David Alm, but it's touch. Got to come over. Sørum trotting to the back and just taps it casually off the block of Hellvig.
The Sørum slime, again, just doesn't get the full power in it, just hangs and hangs, waits to see the hands of Johnny Hellvig and slaps it off of him. And that, I don't want to say it's a troubling sight, but slightly concerning sight that Hellvig, 5 points in, already hands on the knees, taking big, deep breaths. He has a heavy workload, gets served quite a lot, options a lot.
And that overpass is destroyed from Anders Mol.
The ease with which Anders elevates and pats that down on the 3-meter line is just lunacy.
Sørum working that bad corner. Here's the first jump set. We'll see. Handled well from Norway. Free ball opportunity, though, again for Sweden. On the line, Sørum walking into that one. Sørum, sidewinder, looking for some hands, not going to find them.
However, opportunities, opportunities, opportunities. Norway making life very difficult for Sweden, one of the best side-out teams in the world. This is a tremendous opportunity for Sørum in transition and just sends that a hair wide. Now, Sweden, what they did last night in their quarterfinal win over Gudla Carver-Hayes and Victoria Philippe, congrats to them on a 5th place finish out of the qualifier. But what Sweden has been doing is they've been putting David Alman on the windy corner and making life easier on Hellvig. We will see if they do that now. Hellvig will be on the right side if he is indeed switching sides.
Yeah, that's something we had never seen. Nice touch from Hellvig. What a turn, and then he puts it out of bounds. He does the hard play but can't make the easy one.
I'm a bit surprised. I think the ref was surprised that Hellvig got that up because that, to me, looked like a full-on lift and carry back to David Alman. I think Hellvig might have been a little bit surprised that it went uncalled. Uncharacteristic free ball error. The refs, they're wasting no time out here. If you're not back up within half a second, you're getting whistled and yellow carded.
And there's Alman on the bad side. Another monstrous 5-foot line hammer from Anders Mol.
Excuse me, coming through.
Yes.
Anders Mol, another overpass, another 1-meter line Yahtzee, and indeed David Alman is playing on the left in the bad corner, taking the most difficult task in the sport.
Here he is on the right, and that's a healthy angle from Alman.
And this really is a phenomenal swing because Anders is lined up in the line. He sees the read into the angle. Watch his hands go laterally into the angle. Sørum shifting into the angle, and Alman just makes it too sharp for either.
Trouble on the pass. Good save from Anders Mol, and Sørum tapping that one in the net. So one of the first errors on the side of Norway.
if anybody's curious about the conditions and how windy it is, the fact that we have 2 David Amon overpasses and a shank from Christian Sørum just 11 points in, that tells you all you need to know. It's windy.
6-5. Sweden down just one.
Is remarkable. He's facing all angle, lets it go over his shoulder, and then just manipulates and turns that shoulder. It's like an owl's neck mobility, just full 360.
Amon there, sees Sørum move and just chips it to the open space.
And one of the best aspects of this Norwegian defense is the trust that Sørum has with Anders to make his reads, and the trust Anders has in return for Sørum to make his reads. So that was a misread. Jonathan Hellvig, his assignment was line, sees the angle swing coming. Now watch the lateral move he makes with his hands, dropping that left, big seam. David Amon shifting into the sharp angle. Well read from both Swedish players as we're all tied up.
Hellvig serving that bad corner where Sørum is. Sørum gets lucky and it trickles through the block of Hellvig.
Lucky is the word that I would have used as well, as he hits this directly into the midst of Hellvig. That's not a block you're going to see him miss often.
And already, again, Hellvig talking to that referee. And in Hellvig's defense, the ball did hit him, I think, in the face. And so, you know, let him wipe his glasses, I think.
And we've seen that this entire week.
More than ever.
It's strange that they won't let the players wipe their glasses.
And an excellent cutback option there from Hellvig. Maybe letting out a little bit of frustration on that Mikasa.
Apparently Hellvig can option when he can't see.
8-all. Back and forth we go. Expected nothing less as that serve. Amon goes long. So you see Amon now on the right side. They're playing, as we like to call it, Hawaiian style, where you just switch right across the net, working on both bad corners. And that's a soft shot from David.
And this is the good side for Sweden, as both players are on their proper sides. David Amon nice and home on the right, Jonathan Hellvig on the left, where he's a much better option player. And so this is where they need to take advantage, because this is where Christian Sørum on the other side is on his bad side, on that windy side on the left.
Sørum continuing to go behind. It's a good touch from Hellvig, but it's recovered. This one's going to have to come over. Free ball for Norway. Anders high over the top of Hellvig, but it's out of bounds. And the touch call. Wow, I don't know if Hellvig signaled that they were the touch, or the upper referee saw a touch, Travis?
No, Hellvig did the walk away from the explosion. Are they going to call it? And our down ref, Magda, who we see often on the AVP, she hears the touch. There was a little bit of a controversy last night when Hellvig did not call his own touch on Vitor Philippe. It is not the player's job, and I love that Anders didn't plead for it from Hellvig.
Good control here, and Sørum just kind of misjudging the distance on that line swing.
I don't know if I've ever seen Christian do that. He got in a baseball metaphor, he got the pitch he wanted. A little changeup right down the plate, and he just whiffed.
Sørum going to stay in front this time and chipping it on the line. Hellvig, a little bit of frustration. He made the right move, but it's just outside of him.
And we saw this in last night's quarterfinal win over Guto and Vitor Philippe, that Hellvig, he kept getting touches and touches and touches. In a first set, they would eventually lose their first set that they had lost in 13 of them, dating back to the Paris Olympic Games. And then sets 2 and 3, he took over. And he was just a block machine. I was talking to him briefly at dinner last night, and I said, hey, you blocked great in sets 2 and 3. He goes, it's really, really hard with the wind right now, because as a hitter, the only thing you have to track is where the ball's going. As a blocker, you have to track the ball, the setter in a threat of the option, and the hitter with the wind, and it's very difficult. And that's what Hellvig was saying. I said, well, if you get 5 blocks in a match, it's really hard. I hate to see what you can do on a still day, which is what we saw in the gold medal match at the Paris Olympic Games, in which David Hman, in a rare instance, could have just kicked up a beach chair and relaxed as Hellvig took over.
Man, it's always been early on in the Swedish duos pair, it's been David Hman who has been the MVP of this team with the crazy athleticism in the plays. But man, oh man, Jonathan Hellvig has ramped up his level of play. And like you said, in Paris, he was the man. He was the guy. Let's see if he can bring back that form here. Down just 1. And that ball lands in Travis somehow. What a press from Bohl.
What a press and what a smart job from Anders. Not trying to go full elevation and make a crazy move. It was just kind of a tap, jump, hand quickly over the net. The set was low, and Hman tried to just go high and off his hands, but it's the best blocker in the world. Good luck.
An excellent option there from Hellvig into the angle. Again, an uncomfortable position for Hellvig on that right side. Normally on the left, hitting those options, but doing a good job.
And the on-2 has been quiet this week from Sweden for the reasons that we're mentioning: the wind, the sun, the heat. Hellvig playing on the other side, but he still manages to get it done.
And a soft shot there from Anders Mohl.
One thing I'd love to see is Anders Mohl on the left. I think it'd be fun to see that. We got a little glimpse of it when he played with Adrian Karambula at the King of the Court. Fun little combo. I think left side Anders would be a fun one to watch.
I mean, just the amount of options and that being in his wheelhouse would be a scary sight. And the left-handed poke option is covered, but another chance here for Sweden. Back tempo down the line. Anders diving into the angle. A little bit of a misjudgment.
The discipline from Sørum to stay down and dig that backwards pokey option from Hellvig was outstanding. Just couldn't quite convert in transition. Anders making a read, and Hman really smart shot down the line.
Sørum, soft line shot. Unbelievable touch from Sørum. I think he felt Hman coming and he had to do something different.
Sørum, I can't think of the last kill he had that went untouched. He's either been sliming it off of Jonathan Hellvig, that's been the majority of them, or just making it off the fingernail of David Hman. He's teasing him.
So many different ways to score. Here's a jump set. The cut shot, good balance from Sørum. Looking for the poke, dig, and the spike over on 1. Cha-ching! Direct deposit from David Hman.
I spike, your spike. Smart play from David Hman. Calorie efficient points, ladies and gentlemen. You see the on 1, you take it. No need to take all 3.
And it would have been a difficult dig for Hman to make anyways. He would have had to poke that up into the wind. Why not just hit it over? Sweden down just 1. Cut shot, nicely done. The lefty poke is covered from Sørum. And Sørum again just knows where the block is, knows how to chisel.
And it's such a smart shot. You see the finger pistols from Anders right there pointing to his partner, because that is a high ball. The wind is pushing it back into the court, and Sørum step closes outside. It's well off the net. Knows he needs to swing it high, and again, just that slimy Sørum swings. Another kill that goes off the Swedish player.
And there's one thing about finding the sand with clean kills. It's hard to do that, but another thing about working the edges of the block, something you see a lot in indoor when you have 4 to 6 hands in your face trying to work the edges. But man, Christian Sørum showing us how to work the edges here. 15-13 on the change. And a soft angle cut shot. David Hman, he loves going angle when he goes behind there.
And that angle is where most players will be going, is it's going back into the wind. You can see, watch how fast this cut shot drops as the wind is pushing it down. And Sørum was a little bit frustrated, but that's an excellent shot from Hman.
Hard to cover that amount of ground if you're Sørum. This set's a little bit tight. Sørum on the slide approach, trying to make something happen, but good discipline from Hellvig.
And this is the pass that teams are trying to produce on that far side. You want to produce a pass that crosses over the center line so you can't run a back set, and instead the set has to go into the middle, into the wind. Very difficult to put it where you want it.
This time, Sørum opting to go behind. Good recycle at the net. Chance for Anders Boll. Not many swings we've seen from him. He hasn't had many opportunities. That time, he capitalizes.
Talk a lot about the lower tempo plays being favorable in these conditions. And I love all the transition tempos of Norway, especially that cover. It's just a teeny little pass, not even above the net, a quick set and a quick swing.
Going Hellvig's way, the lefty poke, another offhand poke, Travis.
Just the control of that is beyond words, as it just barely touches the knuckle and then just trickles down, a little waterfall poke shot from Hellvig. And that's just what he does. These aren't exceptional. This is just standard Jonathan Hellvig.
Staying on Sørum. Sørum looking for some touch. And a little bit of frustration there from Anders Boll. But there's a touch. No complaints for Sweden.
And Hellvig did not help his cause trying to sell that. Anders' little fist bump with the referees. This goes clearly off his left hand from Jonathan Hellvig. And again, it's not the player's job to own up to it. Hman thought they were going to steal one there. Anders frustrated because at first went uncalled, and then the up ref, Osvaldo Sumaville, the Silver Fox, he got on it.
Nice serve. And back to the angle, a little bit of seam. Both Norwegian players kind of sliding into the line.
I love this block move from Anders as he's lined up square, and then the wind pushes it further to the outside, and he takes a double shuffle to get in the face of Hman. Just the swing is better.
Sørum goes seam, and it's dug. Chance for Sweden to go up one. They do with another slimy cut into the wind.
As our good friend Riley McKibben likes to say, there's always more angle. Hman going angle, angle, angle some more. And I believe this is the first lead Sweden has taken the entire match.
That's a good look at that cut shot. I mean, you have to literally be standing on the 3-foot sideline if you want to dig that ball. Deep float. That's Sørum. Sørum takes his look and calmly chips one over the top of Hellvig.
That is just a delightful cut shot from Christian Sørum. Just hangs and waits and sees what the defense is giving him. I always wonder if Sørum has some extra eyes out there on the court. He sees everything so well.
Hellvig here, another poke. Chance for Norway to go back up one. This time, the run from Hman is a dig, and he goes for the jumbo and misses just long.
What an excellent controlled dig from David Hman on the move, sliding right, and sort of shovels it into Hellvig's platform, who makes an excellent set on it, gives Hman the opportunity and just sends it long. The ball control from Sweden, it's just such a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, at such a young age, usually we talk about beach volleyball and peak beach volleyball form, and it comes with time, it comes with reps, thousands and thousands of hours of rep. 10,000, I think, is the number you're looking for mastery of a skill. But what Sweden has done at such an early age and so young is been able to shape this ball, touch this ball how they want, and credit to them and their coach Razzie on creating a system and a format and a schedule that has allowed them to generate the reps and be so crisp so early in their young career.
And something tells me that it won't be long until we see Sweden #2 on their way up, as Jonathan Hellvig, David Hman, just 22 years young. And they're just the tip of the spear.
Yeah.
And just as they're inspiring legions of jump setters around the world, you know that at home in Sweden, they're going to be popping up left and right.
Yeah, a whole new aspect to the game, and the world has taken notice. Hellvig, cross court, what a dig from Sørum. And Hellvig finds a way around the block of Anders.
That is a big, big save from Sweden. Could have been down 2018. Instead, it's 1919. That soft block set from Christian Sørum, giving Anders a chance at the top of the net, was remarkable. And just the defense from Sweden. These are the two best defensive teams of the last 10 years.
No question. 19 all. 2 points to win. Sørum. And a soft high line over the top. No one home for Sweden.
One of the many aspects of Sørum's game that I love is his ability to hit it at different points in his jump. He'll hit it on the way up and have a fast snap. He'll hit it on the way down as he did that line shot, and it just messes with your timing as a blocker.
So, set point number 1 here for Norway. Excellent serve, excellent pass. And hman there chips one down the line to let us go into extra innings.
I love the service pressure that we're seeing from Anders Mol, as do the fans. Every time he cracks a jump serve, you hear just some Brazilian fans going, wow!
Another perfect pass from Sørum. And a heater this time. We haven't seen that kind of heat yet from Christian Sørum, but he's got it.
That's the first real pop we've seen from Christian Sørum into that patented sharp angle of his. And another patented signature of Christian Sørum. Rarely hits a ball with true spin on it. Has that sort of spatchy element to it that makes it so difficult to read and control.
Hellvig to stay alive in this set. Good cover, but it goes over the net. Chance for Norway. Excellent soft block. And this is a long rally here. That set low, a little sticky, but no complaints from Sweden, and Norway takes set number 1 in a thriller.
And there's that tempo that we see from Norway in transition. And as you mentioned, it was a little sticky coming out of Anders' hands, and I think it slipped through him just a little bit, and it still came out saucy clean. I like that it wasn't called. No need for a ref to insert himself on set point.
See what Anders has. We know he's got the heat. We know he's got the height, but you don't want to lose twice serving Christian the whole time. Start of set number 2. And back to the line goes David hman for a first point here.
And when hman is on that near side of your screen and he's playing on the left, he's been running that back set. We've seen Anders and Christian double up in the angle a number of times, leaving that high line open. I'm curious when they're going to call the play to take it away.
Side set, a little baby line, the vision again of Sørum.
Just mwah. With a kiss on that one from Sørum. Hitting a high ball, not easy to do. Running a back set into the wind, not easy to do. But Christian making it look easy.
Serve going long. Pressure continuing to stay on Christian Sørum, and there's a block. That set drifting just a little tight for Sørum.
And this is similar to what we saw last night in the quarterfinal. Hellvig just one block in that first set, had a number of touches. And now he's starting to make the adjustments he needs to. Gets one early in set number 2. Sweden, biggest lead of the match.
Back to Sørum they go. Good fake, but patience from David hman. And David hman looking to snap it, his patented high-risk snapper into the angle, and doesn't find any hands, doesn't find the court.
And I think the set was a little bit higher than he wanted. Not by an extreme measure, maybe by a ball or just a half a ball, but that threw off the timing just enough that he couldn't get the full hand on it.
Back to the angle cut. Sørum is there. A little bit of a weird touch into the net. hman wanted that set wider. He has to go with the left-handed poke. Sørum tries to go fast line, but catches the tape. Looking for the jumbo. Shrimp is popular here, as you know, and the jumbo shrimp goes down for David hman.
And you see the fatigue, all 4 players on court, except, of course, David hman, who's made of rubber. but it's hot on center court, and that was what we jokingly call in the United States a bit of a pillow fight rally, and it's rare to see that from four such physical players, but players get a lot more shooty than you might otherwise see it.
And that pass into the net, not able to get that one over, so good serve, good side here to start things off for Sweden on the 5-2 change.
And that's what is quote-unquote Sweden's bad side, which is their just less exceptionally world-beating side. That's with hman on the left. And so to take that 5-2 lead when your players aren't on their better sides, that's a good sign for Sweden and a good sign for any fan who might want to see a three-setter.
Who doesn't want to see more volleyball, especially this matchup here? Sørum hammering cross court, hman perfectly waiting in the angle, and that bump set drifting a little bit past the antenna for out of bounds.
Now that is rare.
Yes.
That is a rare sight that you see Jonathan Hellvig take an in-system pass and overset it to the point that it's out of boundaries. Saw that 3 times in the first set alone from Argentina. It is windy, but that is not something that you see from Hellvig all too often.
Hammered again, high pass from David hman. Looking to go over on one. Chance here for Jonathan Hellvig, and he pokes one into the jumbo angle. Unbelievable.
And we're going to have a challenge. Christian seemed pretty sure of it. However, Anders, the interaction he just had with the lines judge, I don't think this one's going to get overturned.
Possibly just trying to catch a breather here. But there you see Osvaldo calling that ball in, confirming, getting off the ref stand, which we love the challenge rule. We want the right call at the end of the day. 6-3, good start here for Sweden. This ball heading Anders' way, one of the rare opportunities he's had inside out, and he takes care of business. Pretty swing from Anders.
Anders has my favorite right side approach of anyone in the world, where he angles it in from outside in, and he has that shoulder mobility that I referenced earlier to have that little wrist away. Doesn't go full power, just a little snap down the line.
Oh, a mesmerizer from Christian Sørum. A little bit of confusion on the side of Sweden, and it turns into an ace.
And last night before the quarterfinal, I went down and was watching their coach, Razzie Johnson, hit some serves. And these ones are just, is it in, is it out, and just a late decision. I think that was sailing a little bit long. When Razzie hit that very same ace, they had a debate whether it was in or out, and it doesn't really matter because it's an ace.
Woo! And there's a hot option for Jonathan Hellvig, bouncing one to the cross and back to the line, excuse me.
He's picking his spots well to hit that option. He's 1 for 1 when he's optioned on the right and 2 for 2 when he's been optioning on the left. Just really smart decision making.
Back to Sørum they go. Sliding into the line is David hman, and David hman thunders one off the leg of Sørum.
The one sight that I don't think I've ever seen in beach volleyball is David hman tired. And he's running around 1,000,000 miles an hour and then just bombing balls, catching the knee of Sørum.
And Anders Mole taking the opportunity to option there with no one in front of him.
Wow. What a swing this is from Anders. And he goes all the way across the court to that left side pin. Has to get the ball on his right shoulder and sort of corkscrews in the air to get that full power. That is a tremendous swing.
Yeah, that's definitely the harder portion of the court hit option if you are a right side player. We spoke about the mobility of that shoulder, and there's it on display from Anders. Side switch here. Sweden now up 3 after that swing from Hellvig.
Nice little chop there from Jonathan Hellvig, just trying to find those spaces and angles under the block of Anders Mole. And that's one of the drawbacks when you go as laterally with your blocking moves as Anders frequently does, is that sometimes it leaves those elbows open to get chiseled. Now the risk obviously more than worth the reward. Anders, to me, is the greatest blocker who's ever lived.
Off the hands, good touch there. And a brilliant poke shot from David hman, just keeping it low around that big block of Anders Mole.
And I think soft block setting it continues to be, to me, one of the most underrated skills on the Beach Pro Tour, be it from a blocker or a defender. In this case, Jonathan Hellvig taking the soft block, putting Amon where he needs it, and then finding the outside millimeter of the line.
Option again, Anders Moll probably 3 for 3 already on the options in this match.
And I just needed to pause. Our MC is doing an excellent job firing up the Brazilian crowd, but as you mentioned, Anders, optioning is not the foundation of Norway's game as it is with Sweden. And it's good to see him getting aggressive. It's good to see him getting up and getting a block like that. I believe his first block of the match.
That is correct. His first block. That's a scary sight to see when you see Anders go vertical and then at the last second just dive into the angle. No one does it better.
No one does it, period.
Option that time. One of the first options we've seen from David Amon, taking matters in his own hands.
And the left side, David Amon with the option, which is technically the easier side for a right-hander to option with, but David Amon comfy on the right, the best right side option player to me who's ever played, but on the left he can do it too.
No question. Soft poke, come on, almost there, but excellent shade of line from Christian Sørum.
And Norway's just hanging around enough. This isn't the best set that they have played this entire tournament. Meanwhile, Sweden has stepped up their game. If they can earn one here, I like their chances out of the tech.
That serve goes long. Anders staying aggressive. We'll go into our technical timeout. 12-9, Sweden up 3. And like you said, Travis, Norway staying within the range. That's what they do so well. Even if they aren't playing their best volleyball, they will never let a team get too big of a lead. They hang around, and then they attack when they need to.
And one of the many fascinating elements of this rivalry is that you have two of the best 3-set teams of all time. In that there was a stretch in 2023 that Anders and Christian, they went to 3 with regularity and almost never lost it. Sweden almost never goes to 3. When they do, almost never lose it, because it's this regression to the mean. So the longer you play something out, the better team on paper is more likely to win. But I don't know who the better team on paper is here. And so if we do go 3, you have 2 of the teams with the highest winning percentage in the 3rd set going to battle in a semifinal. Now, I'm not saying we're going 3, but we're trending that direction.
Yeah, nothing set yet. Plenty of time left, and we know these are squirrely conditions. Weird things can happen. Pushing Sørum short, tempo ball, and Sørum looking to go with that smash swing and doesn't find any hands, doesn't find the court.
And I think the set was just a little bit higher than Christian might have wanted. And I love that Norway, they just have a system for when serves like that happen. When Christian is served short, he passes it just a little bit left of center and takes a really quick 2-ball set. And I think that was just a hair higher, and he had to hit it on his way down. Option
here from Anders Moll. That's a pass that's pushed just past center line, but no problem for Anders. It's kind of where he wants it.
That is a vicious option from Anders, who is being aggressive on 2, which you love to see if you're a Norway fan. You hate to see if you're a Sweden fan. And you love to see if you're a beach volleyball fan. Anders expanding his skill set.
Good pass from Amon. And that block, it's going to land in the court. Line judge calling it out. Osvaldo overruling the line judge, calling that one in.
Wow. I had this one as wide, to be honest, and we're going to have a look. I think that this one goes, that looks wide to me. And now Sweden is going to challenge. As you mentioned, Kyle, Osvaldo overruled the lines judge. And the lines judge, it almost hit him in the foot. And Osvaldo is looking at it from about 30 feet away. And I think this one's out.
Oh, yeah.
That ball mark to me looks out.
I agree. And maybe just some sand splash that might have tricked our up referee. Here's another look at it.
Gives it to Norway.
No.
That's fascinating to me. And Hellvig right now is pointing to the lines judge, baffled. And after watching the replay, I am equally as baffled.
Yeah. Possibly a miss there. Either way, put it as down as another block for Anders Mol. See if it fires Sweden up. Can they respond? Nice joust one from Hellvig, and acrobatic touch though from Anders Mol to try and keep that one alive.
I hope we get the slow-mo of this one, because I don't know how Hellvig, here we go, this is what I was looking for. So Hellvig just sort of squeaks it through Anders. I would have expected that joust to have been held up a little bit longer, and Hellvig did a nice job of sort of wiping it sideways so Anders didn't get a full hand on it to hold that joust.
Every once in a while, David Amon hits some of those serves that just seem a little awry. I know he's taking some chances. That one not too close to the sideline. That line serve right in the corner. That's where you set up the cones in practice. Unbelievable serve from Anders Mol.
Unpassable. You just file that one in the unpassable category and you move on with your life if you're Sweden. That is phenomenal from Anders Mol.
Can he do it again? Another heater. Good leave from Jonathan Hellvig, and we'll switch sides. 14 all. Norway, like you said, sticking around, taking a little point here, a little block here from Anders, and just down 2.
Sweden just hasn't been able to close the door on this second set yet. They've been in control, but Norway has just been, they've been there. Anders has been taking over this match with options, with blocks. Speak of the devil, we shall arise with another option.
And I think closing the door on Norway in any set, I don't know if that's ever happened, because you can never count Norway out. So difficult thing to do. But Anders continuing to pick his spots on the option very effectively. Nice set from Amon, but it's a little tight. Not the best set, excuse me. And Anders put it down for another block. And Sweden now with a timeout, Travis.
And Sweden has been leading this set throughout its entirety. They took a 2-point lead at 3-1, and they've just been hanging on to it. They push it to a 3-point lead. And Anders, in the last handful of points, has 2 blocks, an ace, and an option. And so he's just taken this match on his own. He's been the best player on court by far, which is nothing new to anybody who has been watching them for the last 6 years. There's a good look at the Norway strength coach, the man behind Anders Mol's leaping ability, Christian Storm's shoulder mobility.
Man, I wonder if he's got a program he's willing to share. I mean, he's got a website. He can send out some workouts our way. I mean, you're already looking pretty jacked, my friend. Dad life over here looking very well on you.
You don't burn as many calories as a coach. you keep a little more of that protein in.
Well, it's working out for you. And again, credit to Norway and their strength coach and the program and the grind that they put in and the effort you don't see off the court. We always get to see them on the court, but it's what off the court that makes them so special. 15 all. Another soft touch. Good cover from Sweden. Tempo to pokey line. Excellent movement from Sweden.
And if we get a replay, I just want everyone to focus on Anders and the amount of work that he has to do with his feet, where he gets that soft block, but he has to hang with Hellvig and then shuffle out, double shuffle to the tempo, still gets in front, but it's just so, it's impossible to defend.
Sørum over on 1. Nice effort from Anders. Chance here for Sweden, and the poke towards the line. And a little double fist pump from David Amon.
And I think that's the point that breaks Norway in this set. You have the opportunity in transition. Amon almost gets the over on 1 kill. Anders saves it and then makes a really nice patient dig from Amon in return. Then Amon puts away. Nice response out of the timeout from Sweden.
And to credit David Amon using the knuckles so efficiently, both him and Johnny Hellvig using knuckles so well. And there's a missed serve at a bad time for Sweden, letting Norway off the hook when they're backs against the ropes a little bit.
And that one just seemed like a mental lapse from Amon. it didn't look like he had a ton of intentionality with where and how he wanted to hit that serve, and just got away from him.
Jump serve, hitting the tape. The option into the corner for Hellvig's perfect pass from David Hellvig.
Hellvig's body control is incredible. It's a phenomenal pass from Hellvig, but watch, he faces right and then turns it back to the left. Just that little corkscrew effect with his body is so good.
Overpass to set immediately. And a little bit of magic on the side of Sweden on that play.
I'd say the door is closed. As they say in Portuguese, fechado. We are going 3, Cal friend.
19-16, Sweden up. Trickler serve, option again. Automatic right now for Anders Mol.
That is a precise pass from Christian Sørum. Very similar to what we just saw from David Hellvig, actually. And again, Anders Mol. I wouldn't have guessed that he would be the best option player on court at the moment, but he has been. He's been automatic.
Taking a page out of Sweden's book, implementing the option. Hellvig going line, excellent touch from Anders. Anders goes with the left, but guess who's there? Jonathan Hellvig pulling up maybe the most important block of this match.
Jonathan Hellvig knows that he can hit opposite hand, and he knows that Anders Mol is perfectly capable, and that is just such a well-formed block, as you mentioned. Maybe the most important block of the match. The difference between 2017 and 1918 is huge.
Sørum, fast line, catching the tape. And Norway down 2.
I love Sørum's reaction. After that is just sort of a shrug, and he's like, well, I guess that works too.
Set point here for Sweden. Jump set, soft block from Anders. What a touch. Oh, and towards the line, Hellvig is there. And David Hellvig hits a soft cut shot. Sørum nowhere near it, and that is going to wrap up set number 2. Sweden take this one 21-18, and that means we get more volleyball tries. We're going to 3.
Let's think about those last 2 out of the last 3 points for Norway and Sweden. Twice Anders gets an opportunity in transition. Twice Sweden stops it. One with a Hellvig block, one with an Hellvig dig. If Anders is able to convert both of those, we're going into extra points. However, this is Sweden.
This is Sweden.
Do you think that Sweden has taken the mantle of Norway as the best defensive team in the world?
I do. Yeah, I just think the mobility of Jonathan Hellvig and how athletic that he is at the net, and then you sprinkle in David Hellvig, probably the best defender that we have in the world right now, faster, and then their ability in transition is what puts teams reeling, because when they get digs, they're running all over the court with tempo and speed, and it's almost impossible to stop them in transition.
Almost
impossible.
We saw Guto and Vitor Felipe. They challenged Sweden, and for a moment there, it looked like Brazil was going to do it. Took the first set off Norway since the first round of the Paris Olympic Games. RIP Cuba. Great tournament.
Yes.
In the Paris Olympic Games.
Yes.
Bummer of a draw.
Yep.
You win pool, you get Sweden first round.
Tough.
But I would have to agree in that I think Sweden has taken the best defensive team in the world title. I do think that David Hellvig, when we do the voting, which will be relatively soon for the Beach Pro Tour Player Awards, I think Hellvig will win Best Defensive Player by a landslide. Last year went to Andre Perisic, who put together a magnificent 2023, but I think that David Hellvig has taken that. It is his to lose now.
Start of set number 3, the bump jump set. A little bit tight. Another chance here for Hellvig, and a brilliant shot over the top of Anders.
I always just wonder if part of Sweden's mission is, yes, obviously to win, and win they do, but is it to have maximal fun while they're doing it? Jump bump just for fun.
I mean, if you can play this sport at the highest level and still have the most amount of fun, I think you're doing it right. And that is a fun swing from Anders Mol.
goodness. When he gets that full, explosive, aggressive approach, I get a little nervous.
You better put your helmet on out there. 1-all. Down the line. Hellvig. This ball's a little bit tight, and the highest of rainbow line shots from Hellvig, and Anders' hands on his knees.
I think Anders a little frustrated at that one. It's not often you're going to see a shot quite this sloppy from another team go down, and that's the highest line shot I can recall seeing go down, and Christian wasn't even close to it. He didn't even make a move at it.
Bump set here. Line shot, Sweden all over it. Joust at the net. Excellent recovery. No! And it's a joust won by Anders. Point for Norway, and a big one.
And Hellvig taps his chest. That is a big opportunity for Sweden. Not taken perfectly in system. And Hellvig hits Aman with the trap set. Anders winning another joust.
2-all. Working that bad corner. David Aman right through the hands of the wide block of Anders Mol.
In the United States, it's football Sunday. A lot of field goals worth 3 from my boy Justin Tucker and the Baltimore Ravens. And beach volleyball, of course, it's just worth 1.
But yeah, exactly. Anders Mol going with the spread block there. And David Aman taking advantage with the middle swing over the head. So a little bit tight, and that one is a little contact underneath the net between Sørum and Hellvig. Nothing but love.
As we mentioned, rivalry, it has this negative stigma, but it shouldn't. This is a wonderful rivalry on court between Norway and Sweden. However, practically family at this point on the Beach Pro Tour. They've won 35 combined medals in the last 3 years, 21 combined golds, 2 Olympics, 6 European championships. They're familiar with one another. They like one another.
And Sørum hitting that one into the net. A rare mistake, back-to-back mistakes, excuse me, from Christian Sørum. And I wonder if we'll see a timeout here from Norway.
It's rare to see Christian showing this much signs of fatigue outwardly. They don't have many outward expressions of emotion. Norway, they're pretty stoic. But Sørum just looks gassed.
And Sørum changing at the tempo there. I love that change for Sørum. Just finding a different way. He's gone back twice and score. Throws in the tempo. He gets a point.
Love that tempo. And that's a difficult play to run in that he's running a tempo into the wind where any slight error on the set, be it from the setter, Anders Mol, or the wind, and you're all out of sorts. And that is precision offense from Norway.
Aman going behind. Sørum there into the angle where Aman's been going. And Sørum down the line. Another rare error from Christian Sørum.
And at this point, you hate to say it, but the errors in this third set are not rare. That is 3 in this side switch alone for Christian Sørum in a set in which they're down 3 points.
And I wonder, Travis, is fatigue playing a bit of a role in all these errors late? And that option, that's one way to help limit the errors from Christian Sørum as Anders Mol goes for the option kill.
And that's what they need right now. They need that from Anders, as the option attack has been the most efficient offensive attack from Norway. Difficult in these windy conditions, and we're trying to mention the conditions as much as we can because, one, sand is deep. It is hot. It's a lot of work for the players out there. It's windy, and so these are tough conditions to option, but that's what Norway needs.
Good cover here from Aman. Another opportunity. Cut shot is dug. The option goes down. Excellent touch from Norway. Maybe a little bit of momentum shift.
Smart, smart, smart dig from Christian Sørum. Just shoveling that right into the waiting right hand of Anders Mol, who just does nice, quick tap jump, elevates quick, and snaps it down.
Five, 6, Norway Down just one. This ball's drifting a little bit tight. And that's going to be an overpass block kill for Anders Mol. So now tied up. And just when I thought Norway were going to take a timeout a couple points ago, Travis, they've come back. And it's all tied up 6-6. Now Sweden take the timeout. Yep,
the coach brain in you. And a reminder for viewers, Kyle Friend is the coach of April Ross and Alex Kleiman, who are playing in the AVP League later tonight. But we both share a coach brain. Both of us at 5-2 thought Norway should have taken a timeout. And Blinken, you missed it, 4-1 run, and it's Sweden taking a timeout.
Never know what's going to happen out here, just when you think one thing is going to happen. But again, it's a credit to the service pressure, just keeping that ball in play, and how difficult it is as we see David Alman. He's in that bad corner, playing the side he's not comfortable with playing, trying to manage that bad side and take the pressure off his partner, Jonathan Hellvig, and he creates an overpass on that side. So credit to Norway putting that serve in the court, earning the point. And team slowly walking out to the sand, getting a good break in the shade. And we talked about the heat here in Brazil. It is toasty out, just above 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Back towards the line goes David Alman in a much needed side out after the timeout.
And that's another excellent response from Sweden out of the timeout. We saw that in the second set as Norway had to race a 3-point deficit. Sweden calls timeout, gets 2 right out of it.
Up and down ball here for Sørum. Sørum. Whew, icy swing deep into the angle.
Nicely done from Christian Sørum, and Alman gives a look of exasperation familiar to all defenders who let one go only to see it tag the outside of the line.
Float serve to Hellvig. Hellvig stays high and uses that hand of Anders Mol to get the side out, and we will switch sides. Sweden hold on to a 1-point lead.
I always like thinking of unofficial power rankings we can do. In the unofficial power rankings of who plays bigger than their height, Jonathan Hellvig has to be in the top.
First person that comes to mind to me is Adrielson.
Yep, I took the words out of my mouth.
As we saw him play yesterday, split blocking as listed a 5'11" player, but I agree with you. Jonathan Hellvig listed 6'3", I think, on the score sheet, and fairly long arms, but boosties. The young buck has boosties.
6'3" and put on a blocking show against 6'11" Nils Ehlers in the Olympic Games.
And the left-handed poke. Talk about deception, Travis.
I'm left-handed, and I envy Hellvig's left-handed control, which, as a reminder, is his opposite hand.
And I think my conclusion of all these offhand knuckles is the wind's drifting more, and so it's just moving the ball more than these players are. So they're optioning with that offhand. Nice touch at the net. No one there for Sweden.
And that's the play that I think could have pushed Sweden to a bigger and bigger lead in this third set. I don't want to say that this was the decider. Anders goes with the pump fake with Hellvig. Quick shuffle, excellent handwork, and Alman's frustrated. That's the play that I think just saved this third set from Norway.
And they've been so good at covering the ball, has Sweden. Not that time. Sørum on the run. Reverse pokey from Anders. Another jump set. Poking line, good pickup from Sørum. He's everywhere right now. Oh my! The Volley Vikings have come to play here in the third set. Anders Mol looking for some love from this home crowd.
And he's getting it, as he should be. Anders Mol and Christian Sørum just putting on a gritty performance. And Alman, I think, is frustrated with the fact that Hellvig is not taking the options. But we've mentioned the conditions a number of times. Deep sand, wind, sun, humidity, all of it. It is difficult work for blockers. It's difficult work for a blocker who jump sets. Virtually everybody's not hitting, and he has to hit a lot of balls. And so Hellvig, I think, is a little bit gassed right now.
10-9, Norway with a 1-point lead. Hellvig, high off the hands, just out of reach of Sørum, and a huge side out for Sweden.
Puck side out for Sweden, and tired or not, Hellvig is still able to elevate so high and able to get this swing high and off of the hands of Anders Mol, and rather high and down off the hands of Anders Mol.
And I don't know if you can hear through the on-court speaker, we got a couple goats littered around the crowd, a couple screams. 10-all. It's a race to 5 here in this third and final set. And the option in the shoulder shrug from Anders Mol, cool and calm.
Easily the best option performance I've seen from Anders in his already storied career.
Just another aspect to the game of the Volley Vikings. They're evolving as well. Soft block, and it's gonna be a kill for Christian Sørum. That said, just drifting a little tight for David Allman.
It's just so pleasing to me, Kyle, when I see someone just handset softs off the soft block. Just, it's delightful. Delightfully done from Anders Mol.
12-10. Looking for the option. It's a jump set, and it's a block again from Anders Mol.
Anders Mol is taking over this match, and Allman's frustrated that Hellvig isn't home for the cover. This is high enough that I think that Hellvig, one of the best cover players, the best cover teams, could have gotten there, and he was nowhere to be found.
Trouble on the pass. Pretty good set. It's a joust, and it's one from Anders Mol. And the frustration mounting for Sweden, but it is going to be over here for Sweden, I believe. And another block to end this one. Unbelievable run from Anders Mol and Christian Sørum. And you see their weightlifting coach out on the sand, giving them some love, and Sørum laying in the sand, looking like he's ready for a nap.